Welcome to the Back to Me podcast, where we help multicultural incoming freshman women and men manage their entire college experience throughout post-graduation to successfully transition into entrepreneurship and corporate workspaces as new hires.
Back to me. Oh, I turned it around. I'm back to me. I finally figured it out. I'm back to me. So when you think you have nothing, back to me. I go back to me. Yeah, I'm back to me.
Hello, everyone. It's your host, Yoli Tamu. As we continue our Rooted in Love series, this week's episode explores the power of conviction and community love with Marita Asamoah, a first-generation political science major at Coppin State University. Born in the Bronx and raised partly in Ghana, Marita brings a global perspective to student leadership as a vice president of the NAACP and chief justice of Coppin's SGA Executive Board. Dedicated to creating change where she sees injustice, she pours her energy into building bridges between students, faculty, and the broader community. Rooted in love for her people and her purpose, Marita reminds us that community love means using knowledge, empathy, and action to lift others. And that while it may be a privilege to be ignorant, Black students cannot afford to be. Enjoy. We are in full swing in our Rooted in Love series this month. And my goodness, I just keep meeting the powerful ones on campus.
Thank you.
And this young lady was referred to us from Miss Coppin herself, Catherine Addy. I'm so grateful that she referred this beautiful lady to us, Marita Asamoah. Did I get it right?
Yes. You got it 1,000% correct. Marita Asamoah.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome. Thank you for being with us, political science major from Coppin State, representing again.
Yep. My CSU, my Coppin State University. Love
yes. You guys are amazing over there. They are producing some incredible people, and I'm so glad to meet you.
They genuinely are. Thank you. I like to think of us as like a hidden gem, kind of, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes.
And good people, too. Smart
amazing
and good.
People. Yes, most definitely.
Yes. Okay. So as I said, we're in this Rooted in Love series, and I got a chance to speak to you briefly and just really talk about all the great things you're doing on campus. You're in such a leadership role in so many ways on your campus. And I just thought when we focus on community love, you would be a great person to really deep dive into this topic. And so I wanted you to just share with us. We always start with our motivations and what led you to Coppin State and your major. How did you get to this point?
So just to begin, Coppin State, like I said in the beginning, is definitely a hidden gem. It was never automatically where I thought I was going to be at. Initially, I used to attend another HBCU somewhere in Baltimore, and I ended up transferring to Coppin out of convenience. But Coppin then became my home. Coppin is a very nurturing campus. Coppin is very good at honing skills and talents that a lot of people may not see. And they turn us and they just blossom us into big, beautiful flowers. And we thrive. So I love Coppin so, so much. Coppin is very dear to my heart. But the number one thing that motivated me to become a political science major definitely was because I came from a home of immigrants. I come from a beautiful background of Ghana, West Africa. So my mother, my father, my aunties, my uncles, everybody descends back to Ghana. And I'm first generation. So I grew up in a lot of the issues that we talk about today on the news. For a lot of people, it's news, but for me, it's life. I have family members calling me about certain issues, or we speak about these problems across the table. Issues that people are seeing on the television is my day-to-day life. And the only way I felt like I could do anything to help people near and dear to me is to, get into the good fight and to get a degree in political science in order for me to be able to make some changes and switch things up that I feel like, I don't see fit in our government today. So that was my main motivation.
And when did you come to the States from Ghana?
So I was born here. I was born here in Bronx, New York. But my mother sent me back home in about 2012. 2012, I went to Ghana, and I came back to America in 2017.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you definitely have both languages.
Most definitely, I am bilingual. I am a bilingual queen.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it. Okay. So on this podcast, I told you we serve that incoming college freshman that's just dealing with all the anxiety of transitioning into school, and then the post grad that's heading out. And so you are currently a junior, right?
Yes, I am. I'm currently a junior.
Yeah. So you're one of the upper grads. So you've got some experience and you're in a leadership role. You're currently the vice president of the NAACP on your campus.
Yes, ma'am. I'm the vice president for NAACP as well as chief of justice for Coppin State's SGAE board as well.
My goodness. So I'm sure you guys are having some serious conversations.
Yes, most definitely. We have not been letting up at all. Actually, about 2 days ago, Coppin State's chapter for NAACP, we had the honors of attending a young workers march pertaining to, minimum wage issues, housing issues, and as well as just kind of trying to address the recession that's going on right now. We had the opportunity to march in front of the Department of Labor and, kind of get our points across. And it was a blessing. We convened with multiple other HBCUs such as Morgan State, Bowie. It was beautiful. It was so beautiful. I enjoyed myself.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So now what are some of the concerns? Because I always want to know what's top of mind, particularly in organizations like yours that you're leading. We got so much going on in the world today. We just had the Super Bowl. That was a beautiful presentation.
Yes. Beautiful Super Bowl. Love the show. Love the halftime show. Yeah.
Of culture. I love it.
I did. Mm-hmm.
So tell me, what is top of mind for students as we navigate through some of our issues right now?
Right. So when it comes to politics, a lot of times in like political science class, we refer to as like the political climate, as in like, climate changes, it can be warm sometimes, it can be hot sometimes. So just like that in politics as well, issues change, pressing issues change, burning issues change. But I know one thing that's been very consistent and very heavy on our hearts and our minds recently definitely has to be affordability of things. Like I was just talking to you about, we just attended the Young Workers March, and a lot of us, if you ask any college student, and I promise you, if you ask any college student, they'll always tell you that they need money. Whether it's Christmas, a birthday, anything, a college student will always tell you, just give me money. Because everything it seems so unattainable. Everything seems so unattainable at the moment. And so we're fed up. We're tired. We're exhausted. A lot of us are working full-time jobs, trying to still manage a successful college career. A lot of us are tired. We're exhausted. And it's kind of like, as the years go on and as the government changes, things get a lot more expensive. And it's like you have to work overtime in order to get through basics, just food and toiletries and maybe rent and maybe gas. And we're all just trying to make ends meet, and it's difficult. So that's definitely one thing I would say is pressing on us at the moment. For those that don't know, a lot of like DEI scholarships and a lot of things that were set in stone in order to supplicate for situations and conditions like this are being taken away at the moment. So our schools and our communities, our families, the people around us, alumni, even students that are here, we're all reaching out to outside sources. Alumni is coming back and pouring back into the students. So we have community, but it's all about the outside support. That's really all it is to me, honestly.
Wow. So now you and I, we also talked about safety concerns.
Yes, we did.
And so I'm wondering, in the organizations that you're leading, I'm sure there's great, intelligent conversation going on. What is the conversation around safety concerns on an HBCU campus, you said in particular?
Yes, I remember that. So I believe recently, I'm not too sure exactly when it happened, but there was a string of like bomb threats and things to various HBCUs, as well as we've been having issues, not personally as in my HBCU, but HBCUs around the world, or even campuses around the world are having issues at the moment with ICE. I know that that's always been a topic because we are people of color. We do not have the luxury to just walk around unaware. We always have to be aware. We always have to make sure we're carrying ourselves properly. We always have to make sure that we can look approachable. But there have been conversations coming up about our safety and how to conduct ourselves and to ensure that our campus is being kept safe from these outside people. So that's definitely been the number one conversation about like safety. It's been more so of like, how can we make sure our rights are being protected? How can we make sure that students are being safe? How do we make sure that our community doesn't become an unsafe space instead of remaining a safe space for us? So
there's precautions in place of how to move and operate on campus.
Most definitely.
Okay. Have you seen ICE presence on campus yet?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I have not seen any ICE presence on our campus. And our president, he had a campus talk with some students. So he has this thing where he has rolling conversations with students on campus. And recently it was addressed that, we're safe, we're okay. Also, the mayor of our city, our beautiful city, Baltimore, they've also been taking the necessary steps to ensure that we're safe. Colleges here are safe. So I definitely do feel protected, but it's also very important to educate everybody else as well.
And it's good coming from peers, they're
Yes,
directly getting
most
it from you.
definitely.
Fantastic. So now you are also serving in the role as Chief Justice
Yes,
in
ma'am.
student government. So tell me what you do. Is that all encompassing or is that the supervisory role in all of these student organizations? Tell me about this role.
So for Chief Justice, it's more so I stand and I represent and I advocate for students, for our student body. So whenever there are any like judicial issues, judicial infractions, judicial hearings, judicial, anything that has to do with law, constitution of the school, I have to serve as that voice to remind students that this is the right way to go, this is the wrong way to go. Kind of like the moral compass for a student body. I also aid in like editing the constitution for the school as well, alongside my president, Karis Joyner, and my other e-board members, Trinia Hall and Vernon Dargan as well. We all sit together, edit the constitutions. We have general body meetings. We just make sure that the students are up to date with everything that they need to do. We're that bridge, that gap between student body and faculty, kind of.
And you mentioned all things law and legal related. So is that a career pursuit for you? Are you going to pursue law?
I definitely do want to pursue law. So at the moment, I'm pursuing my pre-law degree. I would love to practice law afterwards, hopefully open up a nonprofit as well because I'm getting a certification in nonprofit. So I would love to open up a nonprofit where I could train other lawyers as well to represent immigrants. So they could start in doing like pro bono work possibly. And then after that, they get up there and then they could represent others and more on a salary. So fingers crossed.
That's excellent. So now you are, as we said, the leader of so many organizations and you are that bridge. So when we think about community love, it seems like it's very important to you.
It is. It's what keeps me going. It's what keeps me going. I promise. I promise.
I love that. And your energy and your passion for it. That's everything. I just wanted to know about just helping students educate themselves about their rights. I mean, you talked a lot about that. Is that at the heart or the cornerstone of community love on your campus, would you say?
Most definitely. I believe sharing wisdom and knowledge should be at the heart and the center of all communities, honestly, because that's the only way you can keep certain legacies, certain beliefs, certain cultures alive. That's also necessary. So when it comes to an HBCU campus and we find ourselves in a political climate that we're in, the only tool that we have is knowledge. If you look at a lot of things today, even there being books wiped out of the educational system, there is certain educational videos. A lot of educational tools are being taken away from us. So right now we're left with what our ancestors had, which was word of mouth. So to me, wisdom and knowledge is forefront of all things. So through all of these organizations that I am a part of, a lot of times we try and gear our events towards anything educational, all things educational, whether it be like us learning a dance together, or we always make sure we have that sense of community in order to share the actual and the core message of it all. So for example, like NAACP, we have certain pillars that, we must look at and follow through to use as guidance for our events and everything. So through that, we're able to have events about civic engagement, political empowerment, just a whole bunch of things. But it always creates that room and that space for students to ask questions, for there to be raw and uncut conversations, and for us to share and spread knowledge and wisdom. So we never keep it to ourselves. We always give. And it's so beautiful to me, honestly.
That's powerful for you to say that it becomes a word of mouth nowadays in this generation. Wow, I didn't even think about how fast things are moving and the way they're deleting things so quickly. I didn't even think about that. So are there resources and websites that you guys are now starting to gather so that the knowledge is there, or starting to think about where your resources are possibly?
So I know for myself personally, because of the classes that I do take, I tend to read a lot on the topics that are being discussed or that are at hand, with more so of like the general body, I believe more so the best way to get to them is social media. Even though social media is very tricky because anything can be put onto social media and there's not a lot of fact checking. I know as a journalist yourself, you know how important it is to ensure that information that's being shared and passed on is accurate and is credible. But that's why we come into place. You know, we have these conversations where we can do the checks and balances. But sadly, social media, I wouldn't say sadly, but social media is usually the main platform where we all have conversations and where we discuss things. I wouldn't say there are any like certain websites in particular that people my age look out for to get knowledge on, but I know that social media is our main platform for us to share, you know, information and to get things going through the masses, honestly.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, and I think there's slowly some different sites popping up from different people that are trying to get our history out there on the platform. So that's an important point. I didn't think about that. So interesting. You called me a journalist. Wow. I don't consider myself that, but
Really? Okay, thank you for correcting me. Thank you for correcting me. Thank you for correcting
okay.
me.
I'm like, okay. I'm just here to help y'all. I am not a journalist.
But I mean,
But
you are sharing and spreading information on a platform, and you have a very, very good platform. So
thank
I would
you.
definitely consider you some form of a journalist. But
Interesting. Okay. All right. So now you and I also talked about mental health.
yes,
And I mean, when it comes to community love, we have got to learn to love each other and
yes.
lean on each other. And you talked about grounding. Tell me about
Mm.
that.
Grounding is very important. Grounding is everything to me, honestly. And the reason why I say that is because, like we were talking about in the beginning, I do a lot of things on campus. But in order for me to show up for everybody, I have to show up for myself as well. And you can get lost and you can get, you know, kind of busy and you can forget and you can neglect yourself. But you cannot pour into others when you are empty. It doesn't work that way. You have to take time to bring yourself back to earth, honestly, so you could show up for everybody around you and be the best version of yourself. So a lot of times I know myself personally, I lean towards journaling a lot. I listen to a lot of music. I work out a lot. I work out a lot. All because it's very important for me to have that time to myself to think through things and to process things and to just speak to myself and, you know, to kind of bring myself back down to earth after like maybe a hectic week or a hectic day. It's very important because the nervous system gets the nervous system gets nervous and she starts acting up. So it's very important for us to ground ourselves. And I always recommend and advocate for students to also ground themselves as well. A lot of times you'll see a lot of HBCUs doing like, you know, maybe mental wellness events or like, you know, yoga on the lawn or Pilates or it's all important because it goes to show that if you take care of your physical aspect and you don't take care of your mental, you're not healthy. And if you take care of your spiritual, you don't take care of your physical, you're not healthy. If you don't take care of your mental, you know, it goes that way. So grounding is very, very important.
That's great. So, would you say that the stigma of mental health is going away? People want to take care of themselves. They want to know how to nowadays, or it's still there. The stigma's still sitting there.
I really wish that I could say that I just see it all gone and all going away. I think we're kind of in a transitional period. You know, I feel like this era we're in, it's kind of like when something new comes out to everybody, people treat it like a buzzword, like, oh, you're always talking about mental health, mental health, mental health. But it's a thing and it's real. But because I feel like now we're trying to like hyper focus on it, everybody feels like, oh my gosh, it's just too much, it's too much, it's too much. But it's not. It's still very real. It's not just like the thing. It exists. But one thing I do find very important is that Black people do not acknowledge the fact that mental health within us looks different from everybody else. And so I kind of feel like that's why it's very important for us to pay attention to mental health a lot because it's different for us. And we can only feel seen and we can only feel acknowledged when I believe when we're in spaces that we can relate to each other. I believe that mental health is most acknowledged when the person across from you can relate to you, you know? So I would say the stigma is kind of going away, but I feel like we're in a transitional period.
Yeah, that makes
Transitional
sense.
period.
I think we
Mhm.
are. I mean, the word has been mentioned so often that we have to face it. So now you also talked about just spontaneous conversations to build community.
Yes.
You encourage that with the student body to reach out to one another so that we are all in constant communication. How do you address spontaneous conversations?
Spontaneous conversation. A lot of times I do feel like I'm biased to giving certain responses only because I do go to an HBCU if you guys haven't figured it out. But yes, I go to an HBCU. So community is very big for us. A lot of the times, because we don't have the luxury of overlooking certain issues in the community or in our country, period, it's always conversation, whether it be over the cafeteria table, whether it's on passing, whether it's social media, whether it's like, oh, girl, look at what I just saw today on the news or on CNN or on Instagram. Like, what is going on? Oh, girl, we got to go protest. You know what? I'm coming with you. When you going? Saturday, we all out. Then we go. That's literally how it goes. Literally, that's how it goes. All because it's our lives. We're living through this. And I feel like I can't stress this enough. It's a privilege, I believe, to just live in this world and to be blissfully ignorant. But we don't have that opportunity. We have to be aware. So conversations happen on a passing. We could all convene together. It's a party even, and we start talking about political issues and topics. So it's in us. Because we're a community already, it's in us. We talk about it. We check up on each other's mental health. We check, like, are you guys okay? Are you fine? How are you feeling? Are you scared? Are you worried? I feel like our environment just creates that space for us to speak up about what's going on.
So it's pretty easy for you guys to talk about these things.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah, because as a new student, coming on the campus, you do want to find an environment where you can just say, hey, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'm scared.
And I need to talk this out. So as a first generation student and an immigrant, do you have constant conversations with family back home? Are they concerned about you? What are those conversations like?
A lot of times when I find myself speaking with family members from back home, I find myself reassuring them. It's not more so of them reassuring me, only because I know the type of strength that I possess and the type of strength that my community gives to me. So fear is not something that lives in me. I am never scared. But the way information is pushed out nowadays, it's very like, it's propaganda like. It's a lot of stuff being pushed out at a very quick pace. And it's also just a lot. So they're consuming media from a completely different country. So, they're a little confused. They don't know what's going on. And I'm letting them know that, I'm safe at the moment. I'm fine. I'm protected. But there are people that are not. And so I will do my piece to try and ensure that I look out for them. And the fact that I have the capability to stand on my two legs and to protest and to speak up and to say something, that alone means that I'm doing something. So that's how I reassure them. I let them know that I'm okay, but there are people that are going through worse than I am. But I let them know that I'm okay. And a lot of them still kind of have that like perception of America being like the land of the free and, the land. And, everybody has their own perception, but it's just conversation about just letting them know that I'm safe, I'm okay, and I'm doing my hardest and I'm trying my best, honestly.
Okay. And so what are your plans when you finish school? Are you thinking about going to start a career overseas in Ghana, or you want to stay here and build your career?
I think a lot. I think a lot. But I have definitely, so I do want to stay here. I do want to stay in the USA, only because I feel like I would be more instrumental here. There are not a lot of women that look like me in the positions that I find myself in. And so I believe that I need to serve as some sort of, hope or beacon for some young girl that's just like me. First time in America, parents are immigrants as well, trying to figure out what she wants to do with herself. I feel like I need to stay to do that. But I do see myself giving back to back home. So maybe if that looks like starting a foundation, starting some sort of an orphanage, but I've always thought to give back to my country. It's always been something that I've always looked forward to. And I want to retire in Ghana. I don't want to retire in America.
Amazing. Okay.
Yes.
Wow, you really have planned. You thought about retirement. Okay. That's good.
Yes.
That's great. Okay, well, this has been very good. I've enjoyed talking to you and just getting an idea about who you are and what makes you tick. So we always wrap up with these final words of encouragement. And I'm thinking about encouraging students and inspiring them to engage more with community and why that is important and crucial right now. What do you have regarding that?
I would say, honestly, don't feel like you can't do anything because, in fact, you can do everything. And I'm not trying to say this as a cliche, but I believe that if you care enough about something, you will get something done. Whether it has to do with how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your community, your life, your friends, do something. Because if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and you expect different results, that's madness. Do something, change it. Get involved, please. Get them boots on the ground, y'all. Get them boots on the ground. But those are my words of encouragement.
I love it. Well, I wish you continued success. I mean, your trajectory is out of here.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So for those that want to reach out and maybe learn more about you, where should we send them? The IG or LinkedIn? Where would you like them to go?
Definitely the Instagram. I'm on there a lot more. So my Instagram is Rita Rich. Rita Rich. That is my Instagram. But I'll send it to you so you can have it.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, this has been great. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. I know you're very busy, and I wish you a fantastic year. I think we're going to be all right. I hope we are.
We will. I pray that we will. I'm a little scared, Yoli, but we're going to be okay.
We're going to be all right.
We're going to be all right.
All right, lady. Well, you take care of yourself.
Thank
I'll talk to you very soon.
Thank you so much. Can't wait to hear from you. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Thank you for joining us. So remember, keep your community alive by building a legacy and never stopping to educate yourself. For more information about other episodes, remember to subscribe to the Back to Me podcast, College and Beyond. I'm your host, Yoli Tamu. Leave a review at the end of this podcast. And if you would like to learn more about other special events, join our community on our YouTube channel at the Back to Me podcast, or simply text Back to Me to 833-206-4565. Until next time, be well.
Back to me.